Good morning, everybody. This is David Lee, Vice President of Virginia Asphalt Association, and we want to welcome you to the second of our two asphalt webinars for 2021. I appreciate y'all taking the time today to join us. Fortunately, I guess in some places of the state, it looks like the weather's a little bit iffy, so maybe we've got a few of you sitting in there because you're not able to get out and actually get some paving done. Certainly, we want to be able to get out there and get that done, and the weather's certainly turning in that direction. So a lot of work starting to get accomplished, and we got a lot of work to do for the year. So welcome again to the asphalt webinar for this year. And this is the second of our two. We had one on the 10th that went extremely well. And I believe we have a good program for you for those of you that weren't able to make it on the 10th for today on the 31st. I think almost everybody by now probably understands how to use Zoom and the Zoom controls. This is a Zoom webinar. It's not a meeting, so obviously it's set up a little differently so that you won't see everybody, but you do get to see all the presentations and those that are actually speaking during those presentations. But for this case particularly, the controls for you are a little bit limited, but there will be, as we move forward, a Q&A session. So when you look down at the bottom of your screen, you see the Q&A. There's a raised hand, but in this case, the raised hand is really not something that you want to use. And you might see a chat function on yours. I'm not sure if you will or not, but if you do, we ask that when we get to the Q&A session that you use the Q&A piece instead of the actual chat. That way we can track all the questions that are coming in, and that you can actually sit down and at the end of the morning and the end of the afternoon, we'll have that Q&A session, and we'll have all those questions that you've actually entered into the system. So that's the way that you'll need to do the Q&A. So when we get to questions, please take the time as we go through all the presentations to ensure that you type those questions into that section right there on your Zoom controls. Before we get into the meat of this seminar today, I want to point out a few things that are coming up. Trenton just spoke to you right at the very beginning of our Innovation Connections. Our next one's on February the 8th, as he stated. Those have been very successful, and I hope you'll join us for that one. Those are right at lunchtime, so grab your lunch, sit down, and listen to each and every one of those presentations. There'll be two each time, and they're the second Thursday of each month. So take your time to get out there and eat your lunch and enjoy Innovation Connection. We also have on May 5th, which happens to be Cinco de Mayo, the Richard J. Schreck Golf Tournament at Riverfront Golf Club in Suffolk. Please, if you can go online for the VAA website and register for that. And it's something that's really good because the scholarships, 100% of those funds go towards scholarships that are used for members, students that are going to, whether it be a full college, a community college, trade schools. We focus on people that are obviously trying to stay in the industry, but as y'all well know, our industry is broad. So we have accountants, we have everything. So please make sure that you work through one of your producers and get involved in the scholarship. So we have the coming up the annual meeting in June. For those of you that are members, don't forget that to register for that. That's June 16th through the 18th, and that is at the Greenbrier Resort. So we have a lot of people joining up. So you may want to try to jump in as quick as you can. The rooms are filled up or filling up. So make sure you get into that one as quickly as you can if you're a member. We also have coming up in May, the Mid-Atlantic Asphalt Expo and Conference. This year we plan to be live. Unfortunately, as you know, last year because of COVID, we had to do that just like we're doing this one, and we had to do it as a virtual event. We plan to have that as a live event, and that will be on December the 15th through the 17th at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. So let's start to get in the meat of today's presentations. The morning session, we've split this one up today so that our morning sessions are primarily traffic engineering related, and I'm going to moderate those sessions. As I said, my name is David Lee, the Vice President here at the Virginia Asphalt Association, and we're going to spend a fair amount of time this morning all the way up till lunchtime talking about a number of topics I'm not going to go through each and every one of those because you'll get the opportunity to see each and every one of those as we go through it. But we've had a number of folks that have been more than happy to help us put together these presentations. So please take the time to pay attention and get your questions ready, because at around 11:45, somewhere close to that, we'll have our question and answer session for each and every one of those topics. You'll see we're going to talk about rumble strips and plastic inlaid markers, as well as the portable temporary rumble strips. So let's take the time to listen and make sure you get your questions to get together. Real quickly, I'm not going to spend time on this, but for the afternoon, just so you're aware, the afternoon's session is related to the materials and construction side of the house, and Rob Crandall with VDOT will actually be moderating that session after lunch. Without further ado, I'm going to turn this over to Bart. Let me make sure, Bart, that I get you. Bart is unmuted. You out there, Bart?
I sure am, sir. Can you hear me okay?
All right. Yes, I hear you just fine, Bart.
Mute yourself.
Yeah. Well, before I mute myself, Bart, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time to join us today. As you're all aware, Bart is is VDOT's chief engineer. Have been in that position for how many years now, Bart? Is this your second year?
Well, it seems like 10 years, but I think it's closer to 2.
Yeah, I can understand that completely. Sometimes you're not sure what you get into when you take a role, but Bart, obviously, I've worked with you for many years, and we do appreciate the fact that you're one of those folks that's got a good broad background and you understand our industry. And so, today's topics, I think, are something that are near and dear to your heart. So
Your role working for me.
I roll working for you.
Yeah, you didn't know what you were getting into.
All right, Bart, I'm going to turn it over to you now. So thanks.
Okay, Dave, I appreciate it. And I want to extend my thanks to everybody that for the invite. It's always good to come to these types of events. I wish it could be in face-to-face. It's just not, the circumstances don't allow for it. But seminars such as this are really good for both VDOT and our industry, because it shows the collaborative working environment that we have between both entities. And our construction program right now is the biggest in the history of the department. And both parties understand that we can't deliver the program without one another. So it takes the help and the expertise and the knowledge of everybody to be able to move this program forward. So I'll start off with my first slide, which is, you'll know when I do presentations, I usually give two or three slides that are pretty common. This first slide is just a beautiful paving job on I-81 in the illustrious county of VDOT. And anybody who knows me very well knows that's where I was raised. So I always try to give a kick in for that part of the state. Second slide, please, Dave. So this is just our contract goals. They remain the same. We haven't changed those. And then that's what we're going to continue to move forward with. First thing you'll notice in our safety, we put safety first in everything we do. And the quality of our product must be the best we can provide at all times. And we continue to push forward with flawless execution of our program. So these three things have not changed. I don't expect those to change in the near future. Next slide, sir. Okay, then the other common slide you're going to see with me is I stress the fact of safety for our workforce. The most important item that we have is our people. That's the most important commodity we have. And we have our responsibility to do all that we can to protect them. And that means VDOT and industry personnel. And the work zone safety is something that we take very seriously at VDOT and very seriously with our industry partners as well. There's no important responsibility we have as leaders than the safety and the welfare of the folks that work for us. And we should do everything possible to maximize our folks' ability to bring it home every night to their families, safe and sound, just the way they were when they walked out the door that morning. And we must do more than just talk about it. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And I think that both VDOT and our industry partners do that. And I'll just say something that my father used to preach to me. He said, the best lessons in life are not preached, they're lived. So the leadership can't just preach it, we have to live it as well. Next slide, Dave. So these are our 3 shared pavement goals that were developed with input from our industry partners in regards to our overall paving program, and we worked on these in the last couple of years. Everything we do needs to address these items: improve the quality of our product moving forward, increase our pavement life, and improve how we do business. If we're doing these items, then we're moving in the right direction. Next slide, Dave. So I'm just going to take one of these items to zero in on, and I picked quality. And that's a pretty important thing for us. The quality of our product has a direct impact in both the short and long term of how we do things. And both industry and VDOT take the quality of our product very seriously because our reputation is on the line. When we start having a reputation for high quality, we keep that. We want to move forward with it. But not stressing the importance that quality plays in our product now, it only serves to cost everyone more money and resources down the road. So just making sure we do it right on the front end makes everything a little bit easier on the back end. Next slide, Dave. Okay. So remember 2 slides back, we talked about VDOT's goals that we discussed previously, which is higher quality, increased durability, more efficient, effective processes. We are pursuing balanced mix design to improve the quality of our mixes and performance. VDOT's intent with utilizing BMD is to raise the bar for quality and performance of our pavements. And I know this is a pretty good size paradigm shift for us in how we do business, but that's a good thing. We're not interested in moving to BMD just for the sake of it, just for switching test methods and maintaining the status quo. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do. And a lot of times the answer is just that, it's the right thing to do. And we're going to continue to work forward with that. We put some pilot projects out in 5 districts on this. We've got Northern Virginia, Hampton Roads, Richmond, Lynchburg, and Salem as well. So these are pilot projects we're looking at. We're working with the industry partners on these, and together we'll find a path forward to be able to utilize the BMD. Next slide, please, sir. So this is just a timeline. It shows the progression of what we believe BMD is going to look like. And we're working with our industry partners now. We'll continue to work with them as we move towards implementation. Our current target for the initial implementation looks like it's going to be about 2023. And we understand, that's both VDOT and the industry understands, that this is going to be an ongoing process. As we get more information and the national and local industries work with VDOT and our industry to put more focus on this, we have to remain flexible as we move forward with it. So industry representatives have been involved from the very beginning in our efforts, and the formation of both a technical and advisory BMD committees were started back in the spring of 2018. And VDOT's made a serious commitment to this. We made sure the industry knows that we're taking this serious. We purchased lab testing equipment. Research is ongoing with the heavy vehicle simulator site at VTTI. And again, we've got 5 pilot projects in 5 different districts. So we're putting the money where our mouth is. Next slide, sir. So that wraps up my presentation. I didn't want to take up too much of everybody's time. Again, I just wanted to thank everybody for allowing me the opportunity to speak with you. It's an honor to talk to you all. I don't get to see much people anymore, except when I see them on job sites. And I am out on job sites pretty frequently. And whether you see me or not, I am out there. So appreciate it again, Dave and Trenton, Andy, and Rob. Thanks for the opportunity. And you guys be smart and be safe out there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Bart. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got an extremely busy schedule. Certainly this time of year is busy for all of us, but I know between the work that's going on and trying to prepare for work as it comes out, obviously the federal program's got changes going on almost daily. So again, I appreciate you taking your time for being with us today. And I hope you can stay with us through the day, but I understand also, again, you're a busy man. So thanks for being with us. Feel free to stay on as long as you want to, and we'll move on with our program. So thanks again.
Thank you, sir.